I have tried to start this video 5 times. I do not know how to spit out the words that I want to spit out. But well, here goes. We're going to try it for the 6th time and maybe this sticks. Earlier this week, 3 customer visits. Excited about them, scared, did them, got through them, talked to a number of folks, got some guidance and help and all of that. And it's not that I haven't talked to customers before, it's just this is all very new. And there's a lot of learning and there's a lot of doing and there's just a lot of emotion wrapped up because I want, to land these things and partner with people and ultimately make wins for everybody, right? We all want to be of service in some way. And right, new, scary. What we've talked about before, this sort of one-to-one relationship that we're starting to have with the internet. And AI is sort of perpetuating that problem to where we have a different conversation in a different way if you're using things like Perplexity and ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever those things are. And at the end of these 3 customer meetings, the thing that became very, very clear is that one-to-one relationship, even in a room of the same company and the same individuals, you can say the same words and nobody is on the same page. Everybody thinks about it a little bit differently. And that nuance, that this person maybe thinks it solves world hunger and this person sees it as a threat and this person sees it as a business opportunity, and yet they've all used it differently and we're all saying the same words, sort of, but it's not the same. And what I've found hard, difficult, is to go in and look at the company and say, we need a strategic piece of like level setting to say, what is it that you want to accomplish and why? And I guess I didn't really think that the strategic conversation would be as important as it is, but I'm finding that it's far more important than it ever has been. So let me give you 2 examples. On one side, you can say, I am not getting things done. We'll use marketing automation. I'm not getting enough done, and I would really love to use the computers to do the thing, to gather the data, to get the thing so that I can just get that machine moving. On the other hand is the inefficiencies inside one's organization of like, how do I get Jane doing what Jane should do better and get Jim doing what Jim should do better? And why are we doing all of this shit that we've done over and over again? Shouldn't we just like refactor and do less or do more or use new tools to do all this? And I'm of the belief that the workplace is changing. I would argue for the better. What will it be or become? Who knows? And in all of this, AI plays a lot of different roles and wears a lot of different hats. But you just have to sort of come back and go, what are we doing and why? And how do we want to use our resources and why? And at the end of the 3 meetings, I was driving home thinking, how can I just get everybody to level set in the same place? And the place I went to was, hey, if I was to give you an assistant that could work all day and all night, didn't have to worry about it, didn't take vacations, whatnot, like what would you give that person? And let's just call that person Clark. Like, what would you give Clark to do? And then why would you give that to Clark? And then how would we enable Clark to do it? And what would your journey be if you got a new assistant? And let's say you've never had one before. How would would you give them like the keys to the castle and say, go do all this hard stuff? Or will you sort of start small and get good with it and then go, oh, I think Clark could do X, Y, and Z because now I sort of see. And that's sort of where I ended up, is the approach to kick off with these conversations is like, what would you give Clark? Now, I know I can do quite a lot of things, but you get my point. And it's, whether you value your time or you don't, or you just get comfortable in the fact that, people know how to do the thing and they do more of it, and then thus we must be doing better, versus like, I can't get to this. It's just this weird spectrum of like a company overall and the culture inside of it and how people work and all that. But all to say, you've been here. We've been talking, sharing about all of this stuff here. And there's no question that whatever I say today, in 2 years, 5 years, some of it will stick because it's just going to change, right? MCPs and agents and all that, all of it could go away in 6 to 12 months. I, as somebody who's been in technology for 25 years, don't want to be somebody who perpetuates sort of the hype cycle of this. I don't want to sit here and be like, yeah, this solution, banger, like going to be around forever. I would rather put a strategy in place that says, hey, I think that this is how we can use computers to make your life better and do these things. But at the same token, know that this little box here, it could change, right? And we may need to change with it, which leads to the conversation with the business owner that this is a never-ending thing. And I think what people get wrong is that they think they buy a program and they never have to touch it. But anytime you sort of get into custom stuff, like I want to tweak it, I want a custom website, or I want integrations with other things. To think that you don't ever have to change it again is sort of like, I don't ever have to like manage my employees or sort of worry about culture or give them pay raises. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Custom software needs care and feeding. And over time, packages change and they get newer and newer capabilities come in. And so when I'm on these things, I'm really clear to say like, hey, yo, listen the fuck up. It's gonna change. Like, you are going to need to just understand that you will get some percentage for free, right? And you also need to have a competency that says, I need to partner with the right people or have the right staff that's going to lift this thing and keep moving and evolving, not only just because the software evolved, but because we evolved. Our culture changed because we have Clark there working 24 hours a day doing the thing, and we want to expand it, or we want to add more to the thing. All to say, I think I'll land the 3 projects, which would be great. But boy, it is new. It is a new world, and I'm pretty excited in part because I feel like having these conversations is sort of why I got in this industry in the first place. Not that I don't like building like big software, but what I really like is the strategic piece and the fact that we can have some of these conversations and make that change and sit there and go like, look, we can bring you more leads in faster. We can work those things faster. We can automate part of Jane's job so that Jane can do the things that she's good at. Fuck, that's exciting. More to come.